Hello and welcome, you join me ADG, and here we are for race 7 and 8. 7 and 8, good start. First race of tonight, being a half an hour race, is at, where is it? Alsace. And then the second race is at Fuji International Speedway for another half an hour race in the second car, all running the Group 4 cars, having to pick two different cars and all that jazz. I'm sure you're aware if you've tuned in for any previous races, you'll know exactly what's going on, and if not, I'll explain later on as and when it comes to it. So just a little practice session before we get started in the League 3 of the Mature Racing Club, which is a Facebook group of a lot of enthusiastic guys that go sim racing or racing against each other on computer games, if you like. But we all kind of take it seriously, and there's some really quick guys that practice a lot in here and everything else, and it's really quite competitive, so it's a good league to be in. And if you're watching this and you just involve yourself normally in open lobby racing, then I highly recommend that you jump into a league, and it's a completely different kettle of fish competition wise. People are practicing for the whole week for the race, and if there's setup involved, getting the setup right and everything else, getting a strategy going with tyres and everything, so it's really involving and it's good. If you like that kind of stuff, that is. Anyway, like I say, a little practice session. I'm just going to keep pretty quiet through this whole thing, hopefully. I have a habit of just talking for talking's sake. Unless I've got anything to say, I'll just keep it pretty stum. Apart from Roberts the Hood in front is one of the faster guys in the championship, so good to be chasing him in practice. I'm actually in the wrong car though. Have we changed to Alsace? I'm not sure if we changed tracks, I don't think. No, we haven't. We're still on Fuji. You know, because this first corner's a horrible corner. And then the rest of the track's pretty good. Robert's making a bit of a mistake. So I'm in the Honda NSX. There's a slightly different balance of performance system set up for the cars to make them all slightly equal or equalish in the way either the handle or the top speed if the handling's not so good. And obviously the cars are meant to be pretty equal, but the NSX seems to be one of the fastest cars, so I picked it this season and I'll be running it in race 2. Oh, right, track change. So this is the track we'll be qualifying on. We're heading to now, which is Alsace Village. And I'm going to pick my other car, which is the Dodge Viper Group 4 with the Texaco livery on it. And then jump straight into Alsace Village. Both of the tracks tonight, I don't mind at all. They're pretty tricky tracks as well. So I've done quite a long race around this track quite recently, so this is fresh in my mind, which is always good. But yeah, the tracks tonight aren't the easiest, so I expect to just try and keep it nice and calm and clean, and then whoever's having to push to defend for the position basically will make a mistake after any period of time, just because it's one of those tracks where it's so easy to, for example, hit the inside wall there, the anchor barrier, or just dip it down too much down there and lose the rear end a little bit, brake too late into here and find yourself going really wide. You know, every corner's got its own little like personality, if you like. This one where you can ride it high and then cut back to the apex late and then carry the speed all the way up through the exit, and then into this heavy braking little left-hander where you have to start braking as you're still turning left a little bit. You're still loading up the tyres, and then heavy on the brakes, which I got slightly wrong there, went a little bit deep. So then come out of there, a little lift through there just to get turned in nicely, and then back on the power as you head up the hill. Crucial to get back on the power as early as possible, because obviously a big hill is a massive opponent to slow you down. Going wide through the exit there, but just about managed to get away without hitting the wall, and that's a decent lap-ish. So way too close to the apex on the first corner there, but tried to ride it out. Talk you through 2 laps and then I'll stop boring you. Not that anyone's watching, but if anyone ends up watching this. Waiting to cue that understeer through there really. And then looking for a really good exit more than a good entry into you really. You just don't want to push too wide on the exit, which just about managed to do by getting my rear tyre onto the curb and got a tiny bit of oversteer going on. And just looking to get the braking done right down here. Good exit, you're looking forward to get over to the right hand side, so you're not trying not to actually use all the road on the exit of that tight right hander, just because you're always looking to get right over to the right hand side to open up the fast left hander to climb the hill as much as possible. Anyway, and the tricky little braking downhill into there, but seem to have mastered just about where to do it, so I managed to get it right most laps. But it can be a bit of a tricky one when you're following someone closely in the actual race. Still in practice at the moment, but soon to be in qualifying in the next 5 or 10 minutes I think. I've lost track of the time, but can't be too far off. So again, looking to open this one up as well. Just cue the understeer with a bit of a lift mid-corner and then back on the power. And then just ride it at the exit. I'm up on my time, so that's good. Down 2 gears, maybe even 3 into third. Try and plough through that corner as close to that barrier as you dare to get a good exit early on the fall. And again, looking for an early apex almost, to then run wide on the exit because it's so wide, that part of the track. Taking the high line, not actually my favourite kind of line, but I've been assured that it's a faster line, so I did a Group 3 endurance race round here the other day, and it proved to be a better line than some were taking. in the corner as much as possible on that right-hander. Getting on the power a little bit too early there, pushed me wide a little bit with understeer. So lost a tiny bit of time at that last corner. But feel like I'm doing decent times, but still only in 5th position in the practice session. But at the same time, this isn't my faster of the 2 cars, so I'm quite happy with where I am. To say those guys might be in their preferable car, if you like, out of the 2 cars I've had to pick. Oh, going wide. Watch out. Whoa, 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 watch out. Dropping down into 7th now. I thought I was half reasonably fast in this car. Let's go for the lower line instead to see can we carry a bit more speed through that line. That's actually, no, has it? No. Not gained on my time, so 0.3 down as well, so I'll have to work a miracle to make up that by the end of the lap. Quite a long lap is this, with a 2-minute lap time more or less. It's easy to make one little mistake that impacts on your lap time, which will be crucial in qualifying. Need to check the time and actually pop downstairs for a second, give myself a drink and actually go to the toilet just to make sure that I don't need it for the next hour or so. Not saying that, there is a break in between the 2 races tonight. So this is the first track, which is Alsace Village, and then the second track is Fuji International Raceway, which I'm going to be in the Honda NSX for, so it'll be a different car for that race. But I had a little practice around there earlier, and everything felt good, so I'm not too concerned about that. Jumping in a different car and off we go for the race 2. It's a reverse grid race for those that aren't aware that might be joining me. Not that anyone really joins me, but you know what I mean. People end up watching this afterwards, but no one actually joins me live because I never announce it before I actually do it or put any posts up till I actually let anyone know. I just decide, should I do it, shouldn't I do it? Yeah, I'm a bit like that. Kind of go on what my gut tells me rather than and organising it 3 weeks in advance and then feeling like, fuck it, I'm off to the pub on the actual night. Not too bad through those last couple of corners there. Very close to the apexes, so that's a better time for me, but still only in 5th position. And we're not even in qualifying yet, so slightly worrying. Don't know if everyone else is actually pushing. Anyway, I'm going to take this opportunity whilst I've still got a few minutes left before qualifying starts, 4 minutes to be precise, to go grab another drink and go to the toilet quickly. Right, back in a sec. Right, oh bloody hell, that was quick. But I lost a minute on the time at the top. Whew, pretty out of breath there, so I have to put up with my heavy breathing for a second or two. Whew, Jesus, I have to run up 2 sets of stairs to, well I don't have to run, but I do, for some strange reason. Up 2 sets of stairs, I'm up in the loft on my little sim rig. Keep adjusting my mic, can't tell if it's bloody loud enough or not. Should be alright. So, come on qualifying. Let's just go back into the session, not that I can get a lap in, but just to keep driving away and keep some kind of rhythm going. Really bad pit exit we experienced this in the 1 hour race the other day that I had in the SimFX Racing League Group 3s. The pit exit just chucks you out on the inside of the first corner, so if anyone's coming around the first corner, it's a really short pit exit as well, so you come out of the pits and you're straight there, you're at the first corner. There's no straight before it or anything. So yeah, if you're coming around and you don't notice that someone's come out of the pits, it's quite easy to get caught out with them being down the inside, and I think it did happen in our race, and it's certainly full of competent racers as the league that I'm in. So it can happen to the best of us. Anyway, no pit stops in this, so I don't know why I'm on about it. Tyres, no tyre wear, and there's no fuel either. Oh, Jesus, I need to stop talking about the racing and just waffle on about something instead. Can't think what as soon as you say like that. So pretty much into qualifying now in a second or two, I think. Surely. Not surely, but surely. Good league we've got going on here in League 3. Plenty of reliable people turning up week in, week out. So when this loads up and I hit start, we're into qualifying. Not in the fastest car for this race, but I'm just hoping that it pays off with what I hope is going to be a consistent race, because I've put quite a lot of practice into this track recently, albeit not in this car, but the track in general I'm very, very freshly, it's fresh in my mind. I wanted to express that in a better way, but I couldn't think of the words. So, chasing Robust, which is a good little slipstream for me, because it's not going to be slow Robust, so it should stay in front of me unless he makes a mistake, which just allows me to sit in his slipstream from a distance, which is nice for me. I am a little way back to catch the maximum slipstream, but obviously I don't want to be too close at the same time, otherwise we'll be battling into the corners and we don't want that in qualifying. Still on the outlap obviously, but I was actually running into the wall a little bit because Robust there, and I came out of that corner pretty slowly, took it a bit of a different line than I normally would do. Whoa. Steady, this is only the outlap. Getting a bit carried away. Oh God. Do not need to be doing that on the out lap. All that. So hit that inside curb, which just unsettled the car a little bit and sent me wide, so it's only fair to let Seawinkle go, not that I had much choice in the matter. Just hope he doesn't slow me down now as we come out of the last corner. This is, oh, I've run wide like he has. So that's compromised the run down this first straight over the start finish line. It's not a very long straight till the braking zone, but still lost a little bit of time through there. Massively wide at the apex as well, lost even more time. So I need to just bank this lap now, make sure the rest of the lap's half decent so I get a half reasonable representative time, especially with the slipstream of Seawinkle in front. He has a moment of oversteer, I just get loads of understeer and head wide on the exit. I'll pretty much shut up talking for my next lap, I think, and actually concentrate that a little bit more. It's pretty difficult. I found out as I started doing commentary, it is pretty difficult to actually talk and drive at the same time. It does lose you a little bit of time, I think. I've never actually proved it, but it's in my head that I do. Oh, that's a terrible line. Why do I keep taking that line? I've done it a few times now. I'll have to get out of the way for Robus. I've ruined that lap. Where's Robus? Oh, he's ruined it as well. I'll have to get out of the way for the guy behind Robus if we're not careful. So that's a terrible little bit for me and Robus there. I'm not sure if I caused whatever happened to Robus, but there was no contact, but I don't know if me slowing down made him panic and he had to swerve to avoid me and went into the wall or something. But anyway, that's not my concern really, as harsh as that might sound. Right, that's a better exit. I was onto a loser from the start of that lap, so this is a better start. Easy on the throttle halfway around, just feeling for the understeer, waiting for it to disappear completely and then easing it back on, waiting for it to appear again, and if it does, just lifting off that little tiny touch and just waiting for it on the throttle. A bit slow through that. Bit worried about the guys behind the app pretty close. Don't want to get in the way or take a different line or anything and end up causing contact without realising they're there. So I'll have to keep an eye on them to a point, even though we're not racing. I've taken that bad line again. Luckily this time I didn't just keep my foot in, I actually thought about it. Quite a good exit through there, we carried the speed quite nicely, a little lift to get it turned in, missed the apex by a mile. Kept it in fourth as well, which has slowed me down a little bit up the hill. But it's not too bad a lap. I'm quite happy with what I've done on this lap so far. Providing I get through the last corner okay. Yep. So I shouldn't really have this problem in qualifying, but being chased down by people behind that are faster, so I don't know actually whether to just compromise my lap and just waste a lap, or they're the ones that have caught me up and need to get past me, so I'm Do I give way and let them go, or shall I compromise their qualifying basically? But just because they've put themselves in a bad position, I don't know which one's the right thing to do. I'm going to actually let them go. They're too close to me really. I am slowing them down, so it's only fair. Probably would have caused contact eventually with just the frustration building as well. So I've got not teammates, brothers in front of us, those two. They're actually racing very closely in qualifying. Again, we're not even in the race yet, but good racing spirit between everyone. Keep taking this corner appalling late for some reason. I've just completely ignored what I was doing in practice and started taking it differently. So I need to consider what I'm doing a little bit more again. Doesn't help that I keep drinking red stripe along the way. I've still got both eyes open there, so it's better than some races. Oh, I'm nearly hitting the barrier. Follow Ginger Crackhead's line. He got incredibly close to that inside barrier. And same again on the very last corner through that terrible, whoever designed that. You need shooting, chicane. I'm going to call it. I don't know if it's got an actual name. It doesn't actually, because this is a fictional track. So I think I've just named it there nicely. Whoever designed that corner needs shooting, chicane. Doesn't roll off the tongue very easily, but I'm sure there's an abbreviation in there somewhere. Oh, guy in front's gone. Never mind. This is the thing in the race as well. The race is half an hour. If people are messing up in qualifying, then I know everyone's trying to push for a fast lap, but the potential it could mess up in the race. Even if they out-qualify you, it's all to do in the race at the end of the day, is what I'm trying to say, in a very long-winded way. God damn my mother for giving me that trait. You might be able to hear, it sounds like there's a machine gun going off in the background. That's my wheel as I get loads of understeer all the way around the corner, just because I refuse to lift off a little bit and cure it. It's better through there. Not that this lap's a particularly good one, but it was a nice line. I've let those guys pass in this lap, so I've actually slowed down at some point, so certainly not going to be an improvement, but this next one hopefully is. Come on, I need to rev out this car a little bit more as well. It revs a lot higher than you think. Starts flashing away really early and you think, oh, I need to change gear, but then you realise, oh no, you can let it flash for ages. It starts making this weird noise as well if you listen. A little bit wide out of there. Got the guy who's in pole position at the moment behind me, so that's a bit of a worry as well. Why are the faster guys always catching me? So am I going to have to lose this lap as well and move out of the way? I shouldn't have to do this. People shouldn't get so close, they should back off before. Because I'm not that much slower, I'm only a second slower, so what's he doing getting that close before he starts his lap? That's the annoying thing about it. Anyway, I can quite easily get myself all frustrated and annoyed, but I won't, because it's not in the interest of my race that's about to happen. I truly believe myself personally that half of racing, even if it is just on a wheel in your loft or bedroom or whatever, and in a league, is all in your mind. And then the action of actually driving is just quite a natural thing with lots of practice. Need to be using Bale's slipstream, especially with him being in first place. He'll command people to move out of the way, no doubt. Which might actually result in me having a clean lap without having to let someone pass. Through no fault of my own. Just because people are faster than me and they haven't considered the fact that I might want to qualify as well, and then we should drop off a little bit before the end of the lap start. I suppose everyone's trying to get the slipstream at the same time, and if you're reeling the guy fast enough in front, then you will catch him up and need to overtake. But I just don't feel like it's fair in qualifying. It annoys me a little bit, as you might be able to tell. Not that I'm going to be able to qualify perfectly and get in pole or anything, because I'm in 8th place and I feel like I've done a half reasonable lap earlier on. But at the same time, it's laps that I've lost a chance to improve on because other guys are a bit inconsiderate. Anyway, I'll stop waffling on because I'm just talking about bullshit that I don't even really care about too much, and I'm making it sound like I really care. It's just a bit annoying is basically what I'm trying to say, but I'm getting a bit deep into it whilst I'm analysing it as I drive. Anyway, quiet lap coming up for the next one because we haven't got long left. I need to get a good couple of laps in to see if we can improve. I'm going to say it feels like a good lap so far, but lap delta has just told me otherwise. I'm down rather than up on my time. Got to use this car tonight though to feel like this is the track to use it on rather than the other one. So if I'm somehow keep climbing the qualifying order without improving my time, but I'm in 6th at the moment, so unless I've improved without realising, I've done a 56.4, which is faster than what I managed in practice. So maybe I've genuinely got myself into 6th, but it seems like people are dropping out or something. Anyway, it's not a particularly great lap. The gearing coming out up that hill, I think that's what loses me a lot of time. It's not right for 3rd, but it's not right for 4th either. It's slow to climb that hill in 4th. But if I did it in 3rd, I'd be hitting the limiter straight away, so it's slightly annoying. I think that's where I lose quite a bit of time on this track. Other than that, it's quite a good track for the Viper. Don't feel particularly slow through any corner. A sip of said red stripe has just happened, just entered history. God damn, feel like I'm doing faster times, but every time I go through that same sector, it tells me I'm a bit slower than I've been. I feel like I'm doing better laps to improve, but then something along the way is going wrong and I'm losing time. And now I've completely lost it by messing that corner up massively. And I've probably got another lap after this one to go, so when I cross over the line, that's probably my last qualifying lap started. So I'll have to really push, and if an accident happens, but I need to try and improve on 6th. It's not too bad a position. Hopefully I can gain positions in the race, which is always the plan, but in a half-an-hour race especially. But at the same time, some fast guys ahead of me there, so I can't count on that. Right, this has got to be the one. Come on. On the power nice and early there, but did have a little bit of understeer. Oh, god damn, what? How is that happening? I feel like I'm driving my best laps and then it comes up slower every time. Obviously not driving my best laps, that's how that's happening, but don't feel that way. Let's get this corner right for a bloody start. Keep messing it up. Massive understeer all the way through again, but never mind. I'll just take that. The tyres took it. Nearly a second down. So that's my qualifying pretty much over. Keep missing that apex there as well, which just chucks you even wider. It's the corner where you naturally want to, you naturally end up pushing out wide on the exit. But just missing the apex by that little bit just pushes you out that little bit wider. Caught the wall just to ruin it properly. That's pretty much it. Wait for the race start now. Whilst I have a quick sip on the old Jamaican juice. So 1:56.40. 7 is my fastest lap, which has got me into 8th place, which is going to be quite the interesting race, I feel. Not the easiest of tracks, but let's see what we can do. So here we go. The final is about to begin. So we've got a half-an-hour race, and then following this there's another half-an-hour race with a 10-minute break in between with a reverse grid order. That don't look like a lot of cars to me. So there's only 10 of us tonight, which is actually quite good in a way, because even if you mess it completely up, you can't go that far back and lose too many points. Anyway, I need to get my TC on quickly. Traction control, that is. Hammer the throttle, lift off the brake, and then put the TC down as quickly as you possibly can almost. You just need it for that initial launch. And then as soon as you've got some kind of momentum going, even if it's 2 miles an hour, you want to get back down into TC off if you drive without traction control, that is. Obviously if you drive with it, then leave it on. Going for the inside line, so I've had to brake really early so I can keep it nice and respectful. At the same time, I nearly ran wide into the guy next to me there, so I had to lift out massively to make sure I didn't. And I've lost the place that I made up. Oh, and now I've got hit from the inside as well. Not sure if that was me turning in on him or him having a moment. So I'm back into 8th position after the little start battle. There's still a bit of action going on side by side in front, so no doubt there's something to happen to maybe allow me another place back. He's almost gone defensive by sticking to the outside there, just because the next corner is the tight right-hander. So he's blocked the inside, but he's ended up going into Ginger Crackhead in front of me. Lost his momentum, so I should be able to take 7th place with a really bad line, which has pushed me wide. Exactly what I was on about in qualifying. Oh, I actually clipped the wall a little bit there, which is just embarrassing. But never mind. I'll have to get over that. Oh god, that's deep. As if I managed to get that past him. I can't believe he actually let that one go. So that was a bit of a mistake on the brakes, if I'm honest, but he obviously saw it coming, and or I did actually just outbrake him. I'm not sure which one it was. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he saw me coming, and he lifted off a little bit, made sure there was no contact. So he's in the NSX, which is my problem, because the NSX is just quicker than this car. So he's got the outside line. Whoa, you don't have to hit me. He's got the outside line for that corner and then the inside for this. You know what I mean? Right, I'm going to shut up and actually race. Talking does not help, so excuse me if I go quiet for half an hour. Oh god, got hit by the guy behind, which made me tap the guy in front. Oh, don't spin. Oh, by spinning you've just completely ruined my race. I know I've just hit you and ruined your race, but keep going, don't spin again. Championship over. Oh, the guy behind me tapped me a little bit, which made me tap the guy in front. Which obviously sounds like a terrible excuse, but it's actually what happened there. Like concertina effect, he hit me and I hit the guy in front. It was only a light touch, it wasn't too much, but Minnie just lost it trying to recover it after going a little bit wide because of it. So full on spun, and then that's just dropped us back massively. So if it had kept going somehow, I'm not blaming him obviously, it's everyone's drives the way they do. Try and get back into this now. I'm 20 seconds down on the leader, 9 seconds down on the guy in front, so let's see if we can catch C Winkle over 25 minutes that's left. That's my new challenge. You almost have to do this in some races when you have a bad start or something goes wrong. You have to give yourself a little, well, this is how I treat it personally anyway, give myself a little challenge. So if I can get up into 8th or 7th position, I'll be quite happy, because I've got to make up near enough a 10-second gap that's developed over me and C Winkle after that little incident filled a couple of laps. And I know C Winkle, I've raced with him quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, been side by side and actually been racing away quite a bit, and he's not slow, so be tricky to make that time up. On the plus side, already thinking about it, there is the second race, which is a grid race. So I'm in a prime position in my faster car, you could argue, in race 2, at the moment that is. I'd be starting second. There's always a bright side to everything in the MRC with the reverse grid system. If you do mess up a race and you end up right at the back, then you've always got the second race to fall back on, and especially if you've used your weaker car of the 2 cars, if you look at it like that. That's how I look at it anyway, which is why you keep hearing me refer to it like that. Looks like Rocky Rich has had a bit of an issue through the last corner, slowed right down. Rocky Rich, nice livery he's got going on, Pertec livery. But for some reason I've just driven past him with a massive speed deficit, and it didn't even look like I did anything wrong, so God knows what's going on there. But thank you very much. So it's given me the 8th place, which I could have only hoped for 2 minutes ago, and now I've actually achieved it. So let's see if we can get that 7th now. Completely different race we're looking at. It's just trying to catch the guys in front, purely no worries from behind or anything, just trying to lap half decently and hope that there's a few mistakes in front to be able to make some time up really. On pure lap time I'm not fast enough as qualifying has showed me, so I'll be struggling to make up any positions from here if it's just down to lap times. But if there's an incident or any kind of action ahead where they're slowing each other down side by side, then it might give me a chance. And there is 22 minutes left still, so the race is not over. The race is never over until it's over. Still in fastest sectors at the moment as well, so that's good. Nice to see. Always feels very similar on Gran Turismo, I feel. On other games you can really feel on Project Cars, for example, you can really feel where you've lost a lap time, but I think personally speaking, it always feels like it's very similar feeling on Gran Turismo. You don't really know where that lap time's gone, because other than a massive moment of oversteer or understeer, it's not very obvious. So anyway, lapping in the 57 zeros at the moment, which is a good time. Especially for this car, that's not too bad at all. Another slurp of the Jamaican juice. Got to keep yourself refreshed. A much neglected aspect of racing on your little sim rigs. Having a beer and enjoying the drink driving aspect of it. So this has turned into a bit of a boring race to stream, but there's not a lot I can do about that really, and it's how it's worked out. So I will be surprised if anyone ends up watching this full race, because at the moment you're just watching me go around on my own, and it seems like I'm just on the time trial mode. There's no one even to be seen in front of me, even in the distance. So it's a 9-second gap to Winkle still, which is proving difficult to bring down, as it was 9 seconds quite a long time ago as well. Went for the true Scandi flick there and overdid it a little bit. So had to hit the brake. Oops, excuse me. Had to hit the brakes a little bit. That's the downside of beer. To end up burping halfway through a sentence, and again. Feel free to comment on the fact that you've never seen anyone quite as professional as me, or heard anyone quite as professional as me. with the burping, but crucially I always say excuse me, so there you go. That's manosphere. I think I'm going a little bit mad here. This track's really boring on your own. Again, lap time was reasonable on the sector there, but without anyone actually visually in front of me, it's hard to keep going and judge if I'm closing in on anyone or not. Looking right round the corner to the right hand side there as we go into this corner, which you can see, I couldn't even see a car going round it miles in front of me, so that gap keeps growing as well if you keep looking at the delta to the left. So Seawinkle's doing a good job and just pulling away, but I've almost really got to start just not giving up on this race. Obviously still 2 people behind me that I don't want to lose positions to, but at the same time just think about race 2 instead and turn my attention towards that. Really tricky first corner on Fuji International Raceway. It's a really difficult one to get right, and especially from a standing start. I think there might be a few incidents into there, so if we're towards the back and actually starting towards the front obviously in race 2, then it's better for us, because I have no doubt at all that there's going to be some kind of incident going through T1 on Fuji. It's such a slow, clumsy corner that it's just asking for trouble. So hopefully, if I'm trying to work out some kind of bright side to my bad position at the moment, it'll all work out in race 2, but it's not how you really want to race. Thinking about, oh, it'll all come good in the end. I want it to come good right now. But that's the choice I made, I guess. The car that I chose for this championship, and the one that I chose tonight for this track. Could have been faster around this track in the NSX, no doubt, but chose to pick this one round it. I actually really like this car, but it just isn't fast enough. I really enjoy driving it. It's a good car. Dodge Viper. Group 4 version. Don't know if there is a Group 3 actually. I think there is actually. I've never used it in a league or anything, so I'm not quite sure, but I think there is a Group 3 version of the Dodge. Could be wrong. I normally am. Again, caught out on the gears coming up that hill. It always feels so slow to build the revs up in 4th and the power, but at the same time, I've already said it earlier, you're just hitting the limiter in 3rd straight away, so you haven't really got a lot of choice. But it just feels like you're losing so much time up that hill. Quick slurp of juice again. Just about managed to put it back down on the floor to get back to my gears. That was close. So again, looking at the gaps, Seawinkle's growing up to 11.6 now, so I'm not making mega mistakes. I'm not particularly fast, but I'm not making big mistakes to lose mega time. So Seawinkle's just pulling away further and further as the race goes on, which just breaks my heart even more, because I know that I've got no chance of getting back into it now. Yeah. So it looks like 8th place is what I'm going to have to take. And just carry on doing the job I'm doing to make sure I keep 8th place. Anyway, I'm going to go quiet. And just do a few reasonable laps hopefully. bit better through there that time. I'll be honest, I thought there were going to be more mistakes than there has been in this race. Doesn't seem like anyone's really dropped back with a terrible issue anywhere or a massive incident or anything, so it seems like everyone's on the ball tonight, which is good to see, but unfortunate for my result. If we look at the fastest lap time as well by Bale Stonovic on the bottom left there, underneath the positions, 155.246, and I'm doing 157s consistently, so I'm losing 2 seconds a lap, over 2 seconds a lap a lot of the time as well, sometimes a little bit less, but still 2 seconds a lap. That's why I find myself in 8th place with not a lot of chance. Goddamn Viper letting me down. Trying to battle my way through this championship as well, and I've had some good results which has kept me in touch with the top of the leaderboard at the moment, but this one ain't going to help, being in 8th. So I'm going to have a good race too. I'm going to have to make sure that I have a really good result. There's no two ways about it. I need a good result, otherwise the championship is no longer within any kind of grasp of mine, or any kind of promotion either, maybe. Quite like to get promoted and race against faster guys, so especially in the MRC there's some really quite quick guys, fast guys, but I've noticed a few of them do, they might go fast mistake, so it's always quite interesting racing against people like that. Really quick, a lot quicker than I am, to be fair. Later on the brakes, just carry more speed in my corner, on the throttle earlier, everything that you need to be quick, but at the same time, yeah, they do, because they're so on the limit at all times pretty much, because they're that competitive and practice that much and they're that quick, that they're on the limit of the car, then obviously mistakes creep in with one tiny little error, one tiny little bad turning or late brake, and that's a big mistake potentially. I have kind of given up on this race now. I've got no chance of catching the guy in front. I'm carrying on just in case there's something that happens, but I've got the license to just drive around slowly, more or less. I've got 16 seconds to the guy behind and 14 seconds to the guy in front, so so we'll just sip my beer away and race away for the rest of the last 10 minutes. What an exciting race this one's been. Well worth streaming. Most of the races I've streamed so far this season have been really good, but this one's been a bit of a letdown, if I'm honest. But that's just my driving and car choice. That was a bit of a moment. There you go, that's one way to liven it up and give myself a bit of excitement. Lose the rear end on the exit. Looking forward to the 10-minute break now. This has bored me to tears. As it probably has you if you've listened all the way through, got to this point. But that's just my job, I feel, as a geeky Gran Turismo Sport commentator on his own races, which is very niche, I do realise. Yeah, can't remember what I was going to say. Getting a little bit drunk now, I'm going to be honest. Not too bad though. I can still control what I'm doing, which is the main thing. I remember having a race at Bathurst once and I was bloody absolutely wankered. I got about halfway through and just had to quit because I was just bouncing off the walls, and I thought at some point or another I'm going to ruin someone's race. I'd love to carry on this race because it's a league race that I've been proper looking forward to, but I've got a little bit drunk and I had to just leave it there and think of everyone else really. Didn't want to hit anyone or anything or do anything silly, so ended up leaving it thinking, bloody hell, I can't believe I got too pissed for a race. It was the old Vino Blanco. No, that's white in it. And Vino Rouge. Oh god, same corner again. Running wide on the exit. Luckily, Dirt Rally 2 skills coming into play. Come on, this is... Someone needs to make a mistake and appear in front of me. Even if they could make a massive mistake, to be fair, still wouldn't even see them. But I need something to happen. I've been looking forward to this race all week. Bloody hell. What a letdown. I really quite like this track. Didn't like it to start with, but after an hour's long race the other night and plenty of practice before it, then I really started enjoying it. Better not pick up my cam right now, especially not into this corner. Bit wide on the apex, never mind, no one behind me. No one to really see it or be concerned about. Right, so at the moment I'll be starting in third on race 2 with Seawinkle behind me and Rocky Rich and Minnie in front, so potentially that sounds quite tasty to me for a decent result, but then I've got Ginger Crackhead, Bales Tonovic behind him, so it just leads upwards with the speed really and the pace, so it's going to be a difficult one. Looking at the actual pole sitter at the moment, the first place at the moment should I say, not pole, it's more qualifying. He's MRC CJW, so doing a really good race around here. He's having a really good race, in fact. I'm not saying that he doesn't normally, but to be battling away in first place and fighting off Robert Hood and Bales Tonovic and the rest of the guys up front is good to see. Everyone's fast in this league though, to be fair. There's a few new guys that are picking up the pace slowly, but most of us are pretty well into the decent times, well, especially if you pick the right car. As you can see, I've nearly I'm just having a bit of fun. Well, I'm not really concentrating, which results in me having a bit of fun by going wide and getting on the grass. I could quite easily get a moment like that wrong though, so I should stop it. I could lose my 8th place that I've so cherished for half an hour or thereabouts, 25 minutes now. Ooh. 1.4 seconds down on my fastest lap, so that's good. That's what that moment on the grass gets you. Oh, I keep getting too close to that apex now, and the inside curve actually upsets the car more than You're better off running wide basically at the apex rather than hitting the curb on the inside, because it just upsets it too much and loses your grip, and then you end up heading too far on the exit of the corner, which can put you out wide and result in a big mistake at the end of the day. So it's better not to do it lap after lap. Oh, I can't believe how boring this has been. I've just lost the guys in front and lost the guys behind. I've really enjoyed this season so far. This has by far been the worst race, but I guess you haven't. Racing can't always be bumper to bumper. Oh, what's that? There's a guy in front. Ginger Crackhead, only 7 seconds in front. Only 7 seconds. He's been ahead of me the whole race, so what makes me think I'm going to catch him now. There's no damage on, so it won't be. It won't have any engine damage to give me the position. So it just means someone's a little bit closer that I can see them really, but no difference than that at the moment. But it does mean actually Ginger Crackhead's actually quite high up in the championship table as well, so in the nicest possible way it's quite nice to see him drop back a little bit to make him so he doesn't get a lot of points compared to me. As competitive as that might sound, it's a championship where everyone's trying to put in the effort and do well. There's no prize for these championships, but trust me, when you do actually win a race, or you actually win a full championship and put a championship together of good results, then it's a really good feeling. Even though you don't get any reward for it, it doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that you know that you've beaten some really fast guys and you've had some really good races to do it, so it gives you some confidence that you might even be quite good in real life as well if you're in my situation. Just looking, glancing at the time, I think I'm going to have another lap left after I finish this one, but getting towards the end of this grueling race, all I can do is excite myself with watching the lap time to Ginger Cracker in front and seeing if I can close a little bit of a gap to him, but obviously I'm not going to get close enough to overtake, with him being 8 seconds ahead more or less. But if I can close it down to 7 seconds as a little challenge towards the end now, that'd be good for me, just to know that I've had some kind of little fun and accomplished something, even though it might be the smallest of things to achieve. Trying to gain a second on the guy in front. We brought it down a little bit. I've gained 0.2 on him. Oh, deep into there a little bit though. Not too bad though. Not too bad at all actually. Oh, a little bit wide on the exit. Nothing to worry about there. So I've got it down, dropped it by about 0.4. Right, we're on to the last lap. Time's going to run out in 13 seconds, which makes us the last lap, since it's nearly a 2-minute lap time. And then the gap's gone back up to 2 tenths. Anyway, just concentrate on getting around this last lap and bring it home. I'm going to briefly go downstairs whilst there's a 10-minute break and speak to my other half, and then come back and hopefully have a better second race, basically. Simple as that. 7.2, so Ginger Cracker probably having a bad lap this time around. He's dropped a little bit of time, but because I haven't particularly done a stunning lap to be able to claw that time in. So it sounds like to me that he's had a little bit of a moment somewhere. A bit like my understeer through there, just bloody relentless. Anyway, Mini has finished in 9th, Rocky Rich has finished in 10th already because they didn't get over the line for this final lap. But the rest of us are on. Robert the Hood wins the race in the end, so ended up getting past CJW. Good win there for Robert as well, that's really good. So Robert is proving really good through these championships. I've raced with him quite a few times now through different leagues and different seasons, and he's always been a stiff competition and always ends up putting it up there towards the top. So CJW losing out in 2nd place, but still a good result. Bales Tonovic in 3rd, and yeah, so on and so on. Really good that though, other than the terrible race for myself, but really good for the guys that have actually gotten to the podium and up front there. Bit of a shame CJW has lost out. It seems he has a bit of bad luck that way. He might be leading the race for quite a long time, and then eventually at the end he ends up losing the lead, but that's the way it goes sometimes. It happened to me the other week actually. Anyway, like I said, it's going to be a 10-minute break now, so I'm just going to nip downstairs, grab a few things, and I'll be back up. Well, I'll be back up in about a minute, so bear with me. Right, I'm back. Oh god, keep forgetting that I should not run up the stairs because I'm about to put a mic on where people can actually hear what I'm breathing like. Whew. Getting too old for that shit. I need a bungalow. I'm only 34. More that I'm a lazy bastard actually. Right. Have we got to the next track yet? No, not quite. Here we are. Next track, which is Fuji, so I need to change my car to, thank God, the NSX. After that, race and result. Race and result. I might have some kind of chance. Starting in 3rd in the NSX, a track I don't mind, which is pretty tricky if you haven't put much practice in, so we'll get a few laps in a second and get a feel for the track, even though I was on it slightly earlier, about an hour ago. I like Fuji though, it's good. Oh, that's a frigging point, I didn't save the replay. but don't know if you lost control before. So it looks like Robust might have caused a bit of a moment to get past, but then so is that kind of an apology? Not really an apology, but kind of explaining that I need to look at that little pass because it might be questionable. So that's interesting. Probably won't result in a penalty. Doesn't sound like it's that bad if it's questionable. But yeah, I'd see that one back on the replay, which I've just forgotten to save, but I'm sure someone will share it if I ask nicely. About to roll myself a cigarette and then we'll get underway. Do 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 do. Right. That's about done. Should still have about 5 minutes of practice to get my eye in before the race start. Change cars, haven't we? Yep, I think we've changed cars, so I'll head into the pits as I just roll this cigarette and then we'll get going. Hopefully, I really am hoping, otherwise this is going to be a boring night's racing. That race 2 provides a better bit of action, a bit of better action, you know what I mean. Some action, some racing, some actual overtakes, some pressure from in front, from behind, everything else. So I'm not sure what everyone else's car they're in. I can look as we pass them on the right hand side, but there's one NSX, one BMW there, and then we've seen the GTR going out in front of us. So that's reasonably good news for me because there's not many NSXs, and again, I'm not saying it's the fastest car and it can't be beaten, but it is it's certainly a decent car to be competing on every track in. Oh. Fuji's actually one of those tracks I quite like to go to in real life. I can imagine it being a really exhilarating track, as silly as that might sound. Just the undulations and the crests and everything, it's got quite a lot going on really. It's not the most complicated track in the world, but there's quite a lot of different technique that goes on and all sorts around a lap of Fuji. This last sector is very challenging to make sure you don't outbrake yourself and you get the turnings right to actually get somewhere near the apexes, which I've just proved to be a lie for myself. Anyway, we're still on the outlap. It doesn't really make any difference, and it doesn't make any difference at all at the moment because we're not in the race. That was a bad start for an outlap. It's really quite difficult, the braking into T1. I go just before the curb on the right hand side. Feel if you just go at the curb it's a little bit too late and you are going a little bit deep into the corner, so just go slightly before the curb on the left hand side starts. That's a terrible entry into there, so this is going well so far. Got no chance of keeping a decent result going with the way I'm driving at the moment. People will be overtaking me left, right and centre. Need to build some kind of rhythm up, get a bit smoother before the race starts, even though it must be about 2 minutes away from starting. A bit wide again at the apex, so later turning, later on the power, time loss basically. Mutt's left the room. That's surprising, as Mutt's one of the top guys. So I expect him to join again before the race starts, otherwise it's giving quite the opportunity away of being up there in the top of the league. I was a little bit late, as I said earlier, just braking before the curb, pretty much just before the curb that time, which sent me a little bit deep into the corner. I've got all sorts going on here, not that you can see, but I'm distracting myself all left, right and centre at the same time as driving, which I won't be doing during the race, so that's a benefit. Ginger Crackhead's done a good time there of a 141.7. That's really quite quick. Not saying my time's the fastest, like, because I had plenty of mistakes in that lap. It got me a 142.5, but to be 7 tenths quicker, should I say, is quite a lot. Anyway, like everyone else, I'm just going to have a little bit of rest before half an hour's more racing proceeds at Fuji International Raceway for race 8 of the MRC Mature Racing Club Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. Oh, rolls off the tongue after so many replays. So I think we're just waiting for Mutt to come back in, but I'm not sure whether he'll have the correct, if he's left the room and then comes back in, I'm not sure if he'll have the correct starting position. So that might cause a bit of an issue, but so he's rejoined, which is good to see. Mini 975 has left as well, but unfortunately, I don't think, as sad as this sounds, I don't think anyone's going to stick up for him, because he's normally running around towards the back. I personally just want to get it tonight over and done with after race 1. Want to get into this one and hope that it's a better one. A bit gutted about race 1, reflecting back on it. So we started the final, which is good to see. We're all about to get going again. In fact, I'll quickly go on to TC now, save me doing it on the grid. I'll have to double check it anyway though. So let's make the most of this start towards the front. I just hope I'm not too drunk now. Also concerned Robert Sahud, which is crucial, is right at the back after winning race 1. So hopefully within half an hour I don't give him a chance to catch me up. I'm going to go down to 2 actually on the TC. Bit slow on the release of the brake, which gives the guy behind a little bit of a run. The guy to the right hand side as well is still there. A little bit of a nudge from behind from someone. Pushed me a little bit deeper than I wanted to go, obviously. Oh, massive moment. Everyone, as I suspected and I mentioned earlier, has gone a little bit crazy into T1, side by side with each other. I've gone terrible line into there, lost loads of time to Mutt in front, but let's gather it up. Still in second place, that's good. Not actually a bad start. I've just got a bit panicked for some reason because it's not gone quite as I expected. Get hit from the side, which isn't what I expect in the MRC, but there you go. These things do happen. No massive consequence from it either, so not the end of the world. Not expecting a dive down the inside into there because it's such a tight corner. Be a bit of a crazy move. And I like to think the guys that I'm racing with are a bit cleverer than that when it comes to the corners they might overtake on. Again, you've just got to bear with people through there unless you're particularly close. Robust the Hood is already behind me in third place and started right at the back in 10th. I know we haven't got the most amount of people in the lobby tonight, but we've only 10 instead of 14 or 16. But he's already got himself up into third, so what the hell. He just manages to do it every single race, but he's picked his way through carnage probably and just picked to the line nicely past everyone as they have a little bit of contact and all go wide and this, that and the other. And it's probably just made the best of all that opportunity in front of him. Got himself straight up into third on lap 1. So that's a bloody good start from Robust. I'm just hoping that he has some kind of massive mistake now. I'm not driving to the best of my ability tonight, if I'm honest. I felt like I practiced earlier and I felt like I was on it a little bit more than I am now, so a bit of an issue for myself to battle with. I'm actually a bit slower than I was earlier. Not taking the best of lines either, going a little bit wide on the exit there compared to what I'd like to do. Need to make sure I hit this inside right hand curb and then back over, back on the power, little lift to get it turned back in, and then back on the power again, brake to get back to the apex, back on the power again, and then roll it into you on the brakes, but pretty gently to not unsettle the car too much because it's quite a sharp corner. You want to get it nicely lined up, and then same again for the last corner, but I've gone deep. Trying straighten the exit, but I've missed the apex by a mile. But luckily, Mutt's looks like he's struggling a little bit because I've closed in the gap a tiny bit to him. Keep judging the gap behind as well, just by look rather than actual looking at the delta, which is just a habit of mine. It's alright looking at the delta, but it doesn't tell you whether he's going to dive down the inside or not. So a quick look behind every now and again is always good. Terrible first corner there, T1. And again, it's time to shut up and actually start racing, stop talking. Bit deep. So closed in on Mutt again, definitely closer, and brought the gap down to slipstream territory now. Not gaining massively with the slipstream there. Towards the back end of the straight we are, but not crucially at the early on part of the straight to actually make the pass before the end. But definitely closing in on my dare say now. He's got these corners right. Panicking me even more, and let's make him make a mistake hopefully. Go down the outside through here. Little touch but nothing major, nothing guilty from me there. Don't get me wrong, you saw in race 1, if I touch someone and hit someone off, then I will wait for him. That wasn't a particularly malicious move or anything that I could say that I caused an incident to lose him too much time, put him off track or anything like that. So I've got the advantage through here, just need to hold these guys up almost through there and then get back on the power. And same through here, little corner cut, that's too much almost, I think I might get a penalty there, that was a bit big. And just hold them up again. It's going to try to go around the outside, so we've got to keep it nice and tidy on the inside instead. Managed to get decent running in by the look of it. We've got to try and avoid slipstreaming. Don't like doing this, I'll be honest, but actually weaving to try and break the slipstream. But don't really want to give it away into T1. If I can keep it into T1, I've got a chance of actually pulling away through the lap, I feel. So a lot of weaving going on, and I've actually outbraked myself because of looking back too much. Crucially, I didn't go on that gravel section, so that's a really bad mistake, but I've gathered it up quite nicely, and that's the best I can hope for after something like that. In hindsight, yes, I shouldn't have broke too late into T1, but it's happened, over and done with. I'm in third place all of a sudden after leading the race. Let's see what we can do now. That's why I feel my strength is really not getting too worked up about the situation or anything. It's just another aspect of the race now. Different position I'm in. Got to chase people down instead of trying to keep the lead. With the pressure from behind, I can apply the pressure to the guys in front. Guy in front, Mutt, goes too deep into there and backs us all up into here, which is potential for a mistake, so I'm going to take a different line to Robus. Make sure that we're not running too closely together. At the same time, we've got a similar pace going on and not losing too much time. Right, slipstream battle it is. I haven't got the best run out of the last corner there, but let's see if this slipstream really does help. I'm not going to follow Robus, I'm just going to sit in Mutt's slipstream because he can't move now, Robus can. So just get a chance to sit there without any movement whatsoever from Mutt. Even though Robus is closer, that's the way I think of it anyway. I'm sure everyone's different, believes whatever they want to believe. Need to come close to them through here, so I've got a chance of getting a good exit through this corner down here in a second, and then actually getting a good run down the next long straight to actually try and get the position back. So I get hit again, even though I didn't do anything wrong there. I was just down the inside and I did not force anything wide or anything. Hope that that came across. I don't take any responsibility for that. I am prepared to be proven wrong on the replay, but for the time being, that was not my fault, that contact. If I felt it was my fault, I would have just let him pass, as the rules are. So hopefully that's a penalty for Robus, because he's just run extremely wide over that exit curb. But it doesn't look like it is. It would have come up by now. A bit disappointing for me. It's going to be a double win for Robus unless I take it off him or anyone else does. Need to make sure that doesn't happen really. don't want him winning 2 races on one night. That's not good for my championship. I've done it again. Oh, I was going to hit the back of him, so I had to swerve to the left hand side, which a lot of people don't do. Please do note. Completely ruining my positions. My position, should I say, not positions. And putting me back into 5th. Again though, over and done with. Incident happened, nothing I can do about that now. Mistake made. Had to go to the left hand side to avoid going into the back of him. As you saw, I would have gone into the back of him, so I've dropped myself to 5th position in my strongest race of tonight. But I've got 19 minutes left with a quick glance to the bottom right, and that just gives me pure hope. So I'm in 5th position, let's get some laps in. You see battling away almost up front as well, so that's good news. Hopefully they're having to go in defensive on each other and slowing each other down. Not that it helps when I go through a corner like that. I'm not going to gain any time whatsoever. Oh, this has been a bit of a nightmare night. But again, these things happen. Not the end of the world. Right, let's get T1 right. I keep getting it wrong. So, that's the start. Let's go around the first corner of the track for right. And let's try and learn from that. They're all still pretty close ahead, so if I can actually catch up, I'm still not that far behind, so that's what I'm thinking at the moment. And again, quick glance at the time, 17 minutes left, there's plenty of time left at the moment. So long as I make sure this section of the race now, this next like 5-10 minutes, is a really good one basically, and I catch up to the guys in front rather than dropping back. So it's a 3.7 gap I'm going to start paying attention to from now to the guy in front, and let's see what we can do about bringing that down. Like I said, they're in traffic, so in theory they're having to brake that little bit earlier than I can whilst I'm in open air. Corners like that don't help me though. Just going a little bit wide on the exit, so slow to get back on the power. Don't particularly like this track, but I do at the same time. Anyway, the gap's come right down to 2.7 to the guy in front, even though it's growing now, and it's CJW in front now instead of I'm not sure who it was before, but Mutt's made a mistake, and Seawinkle's gone up into second. Seawinkle's having a good night tonight. Wide again, keep missing that apex, which is absolutely crucial to hit through that corner. You can carry a lot more speed as soon as you're hitting that apex, or almost cutting it to a point. Same with this one, you need to make sure you get turned in nice and early, back on the power as early as possible, run it wide. A bit too wide as I say that. Luckily you can get away with it there. Back up is the gap, so I'm not doing a very good job at the moment. Got no excuse as well, I'm arguably in the fastest car. So 3.7 it is again as I have a quick glance, and I've actually got Ginger Crackhead closing in on me from behind, so he's only less than a second behind me. Not close enough to have a go into T1, but still pretty close to be concerned about. So time to get on it well and truly if I'm going to do it, which I'm hoping to keep hoping every lap it's going to come, but I keep making tiny little mistakes all over the place that affects my lap time massively. That's a corner cut. I'll just carry on. There we go. 4 seconds, you're fucking having a laugh. 4 seconds? Oh, that's completely ruined my race. I like to try and keep positive like, but still, bloody hell, that's a lot of time to lose. 4 seconds. Trying to catch guys in front, that does me no favours whatsoever, but it's my own fault. No one else to blame. Get on the brakes, please, yes. Just about got to the apex. Oh no, that's a more penalty. That's more time. Surely. Yep, it's gone up. Got nearly 5 seconds to lose now. There's no rules in. Oh, there is in. Oh, we are actually. Yeah, no. I'm thinking we're in Sim FX, but we're not. Sorry. This is MRC, so down this straight now, I'm gonna have to pull over to the right hand side and lose my penalty. Otherwise, I'll get a penalty for not doing the right thing to lose my penalty. But after the race instead. So this has gone from bad to worse. I'm down into 7th now. I might as well not bother tonight. I felt like I was really up for it tonight as well, really positive about tonight, but there you go. Sometimes it goes against you. You just don't go your way. I knew as soon as I'd done it then, I got the penalty, and I didn't realise I've never actually got it in practice, so I didn't realise it was going to be 4 seconds, otherwise I definitely made sure I didn't get that penalty. 4 seconds, bloody hell. Absolutely ridiculous. After you've worked really hard, specifically in a league race where, quite frankly, there's faster guys out there than me, so I'm having to work really hard to actually try and do anything in these races, and then a penalty like that just seems massively unfair. 4 seconds when you're pushing every lap to gain like 0.2 of a second, never mind the second or anything, it's harsh, I feel, but there we go. We all know about Gran Turismo's penalty system. It's not particularly great. Anyway, let's carry on. We've still got 10 minutes left, so see if we can get 6th place. There's a new little target. It's a bit of a shame that we're down from 1st place at one point into chasing for 6th now from 7th. It was almost one of those rage quit nights, but I'm not gonna, obviously. Not because of contact or anything either, just because of bad driving really from myself. Well, there's not a lot I can do about that. I'm trying my best. I'd like to think normally I'd be a bit better than this, but just can't get it together tonight. Really hungry. Don't know what to have after the race now. 10 minutes until I can eat something. Do I order a takeaway? It's proving tricky to catch Haz up as well, so looks like I've completely ruined it tonight. A kind of championship hope I had has disappeared with 2 races, and that's it. Still don't put me off obviously turning up and doing it every single week till the end and seeing where I come, but it's a bit of a shame when you drop out from having a little bit of a chance towards the top. A couple of good results would have seen me push up a few places, I think, or at least 1 place. Very tight towards the top of the championship. Oh no, 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 no. Oh my god, just to make it even worse. Rocky Rich is coming. Oh god, I'm almost on the grass watching him come. That sounded bad. Rocky Rich takes... Oh no, he doesn't. He's already a lap down. So I'm still in 7th place even though I've got the ghosting Rocky Rich in front of me. Which is a lap down in 8th place. What shall I have for tea? I've already had something to eat, but I'm starving. Oops. Oh my god. I really do feel like quitting now. Another penalty for just... when you're driving really badly, which I don't do most of the time, I'd like to think anyway, it seems really harsh, these penalties. It's like, oh, I only made a tiny little mistake, why penalise me so much? Managed to lose quite a bit of it there. Just giving up with the decent driving now. I keep missing everything. keep forgetting about the penalty rule, carrying around for half a lap. Because they're racing another league where you don't have to worry about it. You just get rid of it through the race rather than on the first straight you come to. Keep getting mixed up which one's which. Anyway, I haven't affected anyone's race, so no one can complain. Another really boring race, can't believe this. I still want the results, so I'm gonna... You kind of have to make sure that you finish these races in a way, just to make sure that you get some points, even if it's not exactly what you were expecting, but... Bales Tonovic has left the room, so does that give me a position? No. He must have been right at the back for some reason. Probably after T1, whatever happened in T1, it looked a bit messy behind. As predicted. Look at Ginger Crackhead's fastest lap on the bottom left, 140.721. Absolutely ridiculous compared to what I'm doing. It's really quick. I know I'm making a few mistakes here and there, but I don't feel like I'm driving too slowly. Not quite that slowly anyway. It's a lot of time to be losing. So I lost 0.8 of a second on the fastest guy on that last lap, which was quite a good lap for me. Bit deep into T1 again. Oh, this is really quite tedious. Still good, I'm sure there's some good racing going on up front between the guys. Just a bit of a shame that I'm not involved this week round. Through my own fault, but don't make it any easier. Oh my god, that's not the way to go into that. Final lap, thank god for that. So just close this lap out now, and then that's the end of it. Which I'm quite glad of tonight. Normally I'm quite happy for it to carry on, but not tonight. But there you go, see the good and bad side of my racing. No, we're showing you my good side. That's a penalty. on the last lap over the last corner. Maybe not, got away with it. Oh, thank God for that. Right, can actually relax for the evening now. So I came in second to last with Rocky Rich behind me. That's the championship pretty much over from my point of view, and my little battle. 20 seconds behind as well, and I was in the NSX. Ginger Crackhead in the NSX that managed that 140 lap time, which was really quite quick. So good racing from those guys. Fair play to them. Good one for Roberto, that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to pretty much end it there, and see you again soon, hopefully. Take care.